Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know there's no intro to this video. It's because my camera broke. So I'm looking to get a new camera. So if you guys have, anyone is good at that stuff, audio, visual setup for content creation, please comment down below what you suggest that I purchase. I just want to kind of set up all of my content creation sites. So I need new equipment as well as a new camera. So if you guys see anyone on YouTube that you like or that talks about that stuff, please let me know, or just put your suggestion down below as well. So I apologize about that for now. So I wanted to show you guys a live trade that I took on February 14th. It was with SPX. I do just want to say for the month, for the first week of February, I was down a hefty amount. During FOMC week, I did take some bigger losses, so I did start the month off red. Now over the past 2 weeks I have not had a red day, but I have also been taking one trade per day, and honestly I think over the past 2 weeks I've only taken like 6 or 7 trades in 2 weeks. Overall I'm still down on the month around $13,000. So I do just want to preface this video by saying that sometimes I do post mostly wins here on YouTube, but I do take losses, and I do post on Instagram and my Discord when I take losses and stuff. So it is normal to take losses. If you are red on the month, you are not alone. It has been a very difficult year so far to trade, especially as a day trader. We're not getting really big high probability setups. It's all very small scalps that we're getting, and if you're not anticipating the entry and exit points properly, you can potentially get caught in a fake out, which I have a couple of times this month, and it did cost me heavily. So just kind of trying to break down that loss and make it back up over the next week or week and a half that we have left in February. All right, so if we go ahead and take a look on that day, so this was February 14th. I did call this in my Discord. So I was watching SPX for calls above 41.40 here. So I was watching SPX for calls above 41.40. I wanted to see ES and the NASDAQ clear its VWAP, and I entered SPX calls. Targets to the upside were 41.45 and 41.50, so at a 10-point move up on SPX, and it does look like we ended up getting a decent move up. So if we go ahead and take a look at the chart, so this is SPX's chart. So this was on February 14th. You can see that SPX gapped down, so I had a gap to fill below 41.37. I'm sorry, it had a gap to fill above 41.26 all the way up to 41.37. So I'd gap down here. So whenever it gaps down like this on SPX, I always wait for the next significant level of support or resistance for entry. So for example, it gapped down to around 41.27. My next level of resistance to the upside is 41.30. So if I were to take the gap fill, I would wait for SPX to clear the 41.30 level prior to me entering calls. So in this specific play, I ended up actually waiting for it to fill the gap because it was a smaller gap here. So if we look 41.30 to 41.37, only about a 7-point gap, and SPX moves in about 7 to 10 point increments. So it could potentially fill the gap in one candle. And when I'm trading SPX, I don't necessarily like to take, one huge candle move. I want to make sure that I have a good R to R risk to reward ratio. And in this specific play, I waited for the next significant level of resistance up. I waited for SPX to fill the gap and then take the 41.40 break instead of taking the 41.30 break. And I also wanted to see NASDAQ and ES futures clear their VWAP level. And if we pull up NASDAQ and ES futures, so NASDAQ here is the 945 candle on NASDAQ, and this is the 945-ish candle on SPX. So as NASDAQ was starting to break its VWAP, SPX was starting to fill the gap. And if we go ahead and look at ES futures chart here, this is the 945 candle. So ES was right under its VWAP level. So another reason why I didn't take the gap fill on SPX and I waited for the next level up is because I wanted to see both the NASDAQ and ES futures fully hold above their VWAP levels before I was going to take SPX puts. And if you see something like this where the NASDAQ is right under its VWAP, what can happen is it can wick down and then reject, which is why I always like to see a 5-minute candle at least be able to hold above the VWAP with high volume on both futures prior to me taking a call position. So here's the 955 candle here. I'm getting ready to So I just want to apologize. I didn't realize that my video of myself was covering up the options chart, so please don't kill me in the comments. It's approaching that 41.40 level on SPX at 955. ES and the NASDAQ had both held above the VWAP level, the charts that I just showed you. So now I was waiting for SPX to clear the 41.40 level for me to enter for calls. So let's go ahead and take a look at what time I entered. So I entered slightly before 41.40, as you guys saw there. It kind of was breaking the 41.38 level, I think it was at when I entered. I entered the 41.40 calls at 9.55. I entered 15 contracts. And if we go ahead and take a look here, what time was that? 9:55. It was towards the end of the 9:55 candle. So it was towards the end of this candle. So it was approaching 41.40. Usually I wait for a 2-minute candle to hold above the level that I'm watching. It didn't break 41.40, but the reason why I was comfortable entering this position when I did and I didn't wait for the candle to open is because if we look at the NASDAQ futures held fully above its VWAP, and ES futures on the 9:55 candle held fully above its VWAP. Also, we're getting the VWAP and EMA cross. So whenever you see the EMAs cross back above its VWAP, if they were trending below it, usually signifies that the market could potentially reverse. Same thing, or the ticker symbol. This applies to futures and any stock that you're trading. So if you see this cross right here, where both of the 9 and 21 EMAs cross above VWAP, or whatever EMA that you use crosses back above its VWAP, whenever the EMAs are trending above VWAP, signifies an uptrend. If they're trending below VWAP, signifies a downtrend. Both here broke above. NASDAQ held above its VWAP. ES held above its VWAP. I was comfortable with entering SPX calls at this 9:55 candle approaching the 41.40 level. And if we just adjust. Okay, so my targets on this were 41.45 and then 41.50. 41.50 being the next significant level of resistance on SPX. At the same time, my target on ES futures was 41.70 and 41.65. So ES futures had about a 10-point move up, 15-point move up, and NASDAQ, the next level of resistance on the NASDAQ was 12.600. So I had about a 30-point move up and then 12.640. NASDAQ also had this wick to fill. ES also had the wick to fill as well. However, ES, you can see, rejected the wick fill and rejected at 41.70. So 41.70 was kind of the target for me on ES as I was trading SPX because that was where the wick started. All right. So premium gained pretty well. I entered at $15 per contract. And it ends up moving pretty well. On the 2-minute time frame, it was a pretty clean move up here. You can see there was really not too much pullback. SPX had a nice little move up all the way to 41.50 level. Also, I had called this in the Discord, so you can see entered SPX calls at 9:55. The first profit target was 41.45, so everyone could have locked some at the first profit target, and then my second profit target was 41.50, which it hit at 10:02. That is where I exited most of my position. I think I just held one runner and then exited that at break even, I believe it was. I'm just going to forward a little bit of this. All right, here we go. Oops. So you can see the premium picked up really nicely on this candle here. So once it started to pick up on this candle and go into the 41.45 level, the premium gained about $3, which is a really good premium flip on SPX. Usually whenever I'm scalping it from one profit target to the next, I kind of look for a $2 to $3 premium flip. That is when I know I had gotten a good, decent scalp on it. Anything over $3 usually is over about a 30% scalp, which is really, really good. When I'm scalping, I look for 10 to 20%. If it's a quick scalp on SPX, you can get anywhere from 30, 50, 70%, depending on how bullish or bearish the market is and how much momentum the market has in order to be able to make that move. Okay, so this is about 9:58 here. I'm going to forward some of this. Oh, wait, I locked some. Okay, so I locked some at 9:58 here. That was at the first profit target. So remember what I said, whoops. 41.45 was the first profit target, so I locked some at 9.58. You can see here the premium went from $15 to $18.20, which is a really, really good premium flip right there, $3. And if we continue up, so this is the SPX chart here. It's nice that it's showing it here. SPX is at 41.47. Remember, 41.50 was my final profit target on SPX as ES approached the 41.65 and 41.70 levels to the upside. We're now at 10.01. I exited 90% of my position at 10.02, and then I just held one runner into break even, I think it was, because I ended up holding it into my stop loss. But That didn't really take away too much from my profit because it was only one runner and I was able to kind of hold it into break even. So usually with my runners, either they go into like 100, 200%, or I close it at break even. I just put my stop loss at break even and close it at break even. I said break even like a million times. That's in it. Okay, so we're at 41.47 here. This is a 10:02 candle. I believe I lock most of my position here as it moves into 41.50. Now, I always tell this to all my students whenever you're trading, especially when you're scalping and you're scalping a high volatility stock like SPX, you always want to lock into the profit target, because when you lock into the profit target, you get the top of that premium spike. So you always want to optimize your premium spike. So as the stock is approaching your level of support or resistance is when you want to lock. I made about a $5,000 profit on this play. I don't know if I recorded the runners, but if we go ahead and look here, I just want to kind of break it down for you guys. So if we look at SPX's chart here, 41.40 was the entry. I entered at 9.55 on this 2-minute candle here as it approached the 41.40 level. Confirmation was that both futures held above their VWAP levels, both NASDAQ and ES. ES had about a 20-point move up to 41.65 and 41.70 levels, and ES had about 30 points to 12,600 and then 12,640. Another 40 points up on NASDAQ futures as well. SPX had a nice move up on the 2-minute time frame. First profit target here hit at 41.45. I don't know why this level is not charted, but I'll chart it for you guys so you can see it. All right. So first profit target at 41.45. Exited some of my position at this 41.45 at 9.58. And then on this 10:02 candle as it pushed into the 41.50 profit target. Now 41.50 is a psychological level on SPX. Any 50-point or 100-point levels on SPX are psychological levels. So whenever I start to see those levels, I tend to expect buyers or sellers on the opposite side of the position that I am in to potentially step in and push the stock down. And we can see that we had a little bit, this is a doji candle on this 10:04 candle, so that signifies indecision between buyers and sellers. Doji candle is when the open and close of the candle is nearly the same or exactly the same. If it's a gray candle, it's exactly the same. If it's anything other than a gray candle, usually signifies like a couple cents up or down. But I exited on the push up of this candle. If I had waited for this candle to open up, I potentially could have given back some of my premium flip because it would have pulled back. And whenever SPX or high volatility stock, like even SPY, sometimes when you wait for a pullback candle, it can crush your premium just a little bit. So I feel like when you get out on the spike up, it optimizes that premium flip for you. So I exited most of my position at this 10:02 candle. If we look at the 10 o'clock candle here on the NASDAQ, it was approaching 12,640. And if we look at the 10 o'clock candle here, this is the 10 o'clock candle on ES, was getting close to that 41.65 profit target. So I was comfortable exiting 90% of my position there. So I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have any questions or anything, please feel free to comment down below. All of my social media is also linked down below as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.